Yeah.
Hey guys, Josh Hankins here, creator of Ultimate Sandbag and SandbagFitnessSystems.com. I'm really excited because we've been getting more and more elite coaches involved in our Sandbag training program. And someone I've known for a while, I'm glad he's going to work with us, is strength coach Troy Anderson. Troy is exceptional at program design and breaking down complex movements and goals into simple ways that people can start getting real-world results immediately. Troy has an extensive background in sports performance and boot camp training. So I got him on board to share with us some really innovative ideas he has on both collision type sports training and boot camps. And today, first, Troy, we're going to talk about collision sports. So first off, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Troy, you also have a website. Just want to gear people towards that as well.
Yeah, if you want anything, and again, it's geared towards fat loss, but we put up a lot of performance-based programs. It's an interactive place. There's a ton of programs and videos of the programs and follow-along workouts there. It's kbfatloss.ning.com. Plenty of people over there. I think we're almost to 700 members. And like I said, a ton of workouts. We post a weekly live workout, a recorded video, just in case you can't join us live over there. So if you want to head over and see some really kick-ass programs, stop on and see that.
Troy, that's awesome. What we want to do first today is, there's a lot of talk about sports performance, sports-specific programs, and you have a background in football, and you play Australian rules rugby right now, right?
Yeah, Australian rules football. Yep.
So, I mean, one thing we were talking about in sports performance programs is a big thing you were talking about collision. Could you elaborate on how collision impacts your program design?
Yeah, we were just scripting up some stuff here before, and the reason that the Sandbag, and I've been thinking about this quite a bit lately, when you're in a collision sport, your collision sports are training for collisions. The primaries you think of are maybe American football, rugby, but everything else falls the gamut. I've had a sister that played high-level collegiate basketball, smashed her head into the floor. There's definitely a collision there. You've got lacrosse, soccer. The same sister is also an athletic trainer. She sees almost a majority of her concussions coming, or at least 50% aside from football, coming from soccer and headers and head-to-head contact. Again, another collision that you might not be thinking about if you're a sport coach or a strength coach at a high school. So the collisions and training for collisions is all over the place. And the cool thing about collisions is, and sandbags and where they're relevant, because it's all about being relevant, it's not about being novel, it's about being relevant, is that your collisions come from any angle. They come from here, they come from across the body, you come from in the knee in front, it comes from all over the place. And the sandbag allows us a real-world capability to train for that. Now, again, you can't anticipate that and you can't become super specific, but the sandbag allows us an opportunity to prepare the body where something like a barbell here, if you can see that, is very, very linear. It doesn't do anything really to prepare us. It makes us very strong, absolutely no doubt about it. You can get very strong with the barbell. But to give you a prime example, I was just up helping to set up a high school strength and conditioning camp. A young gentleman, going to be a sophomore, very well developed, very strong kid. Barbell squats 355. And granted, there's a small bit of a learning curve, but again, not so much, because the sandbag allows us to teach very complex movement patterns very quickly, which obviously makes things, again, very impactful. This gentleman, this young kid, going to be a sophomore, so probably about 15, 16 years old, 355 barbell squatter. He had a very, very difficult time and has an Olympic lifting background as well, shouldering a 110-pound sandbag. So for those skeptics out there that are concerned that you can't get strong and you can't become strong using sandbags, trust me, that 110-pound sandbag will do more time laying around like a treadmill, because people will avoid it like a plague, than anything else around the gym. Very, very challenging. You see those Iron Mind bags, those blue sandbags out there, and most of the time when you see them in the gym, they're nothing more than paperweights on steroids, or they're collecting dust like your treadmill. So that's what we're going to kind of talk about today. The areas that I'm talking about from impact, and I've got 24 years of playing, actually playing collision sports. American football. We can minus out the 3 years of Army, though. Some people might want to count that. I'm not going to count that.
But that is important, because the tactical programs are a big part now of the fitness industry. Yeah. So I think tactical training is relevant.
Maybe you're going to be relevant. I'm subtracting it out of mine. I'm going to be straight up with you. And I've got now 10 years of almost 11 years of Australian rules football. Again, for those of you that don't know, it is not rugby. It is still full contact. It is still no pads. So the main areas that I've come to maybe experience kind of the hard way and kind of become aware of that I think is relevant to the sandbag and the sandbag training that you should be doing are the head and neck. You always want to protect the head and neck, and the classic machine is one of those leather halos, you know, you look like something out of like the Gladiators, right, yeah. Frankenstein, or the 4-way neck machine. I was just thinking the other day, the sandbag get up, it's really in vogue right now, the kettlebell get up. I know, I'm sorry, all the kettlebell people out there, but in relevancy to head and neck protection and upper thoracic body protection, I think the sandbag get up probably has you trumped, and we're going to take a look at that later. Again, multiple angles, the concussion stuff, if we can maybe get that, maybe your brain doesn't rattle around in your skull so much when you get whacked. Knees and ankles, I mean, I don't know if we can protect against them so much, but if we do, there's a ton of single leg work that's really relevant with the sandbag. The shoulder, Josh has showed you, I renamed it, I call it the Tornado. Josh calls it the Halo, round the world,
I like his name better.
Tornado. But I just did a few sets of those the other day. Deep shoulder stability, mobility, classic for that. Plus, we get the multifaceted core training, again, working those angles. So we have all those things. We're going to take a look at them. They're covering more bases in the barbell, and there's no doubt that you can still get strong from it. If I was to be working strictly with youth athletes, I don't know how much, unless I'm sending a senior or a junior that's anticipating going on to a school where they're going to be tested on a barbell. I don't know necessarily if I'm going to have them do hardly any barbell work, because I can accomplish the same thing, have the learning curve dramatically cut, and we can get work done there. We're not going to burn out our kids. We can blast them through in probably less than an hour, even with large groups, and have really quality work done. Because that's the kind of work, those short intervals, if you talk to any strength coach at a college level, I've talked to a handful of them, and they don't have much time with kids. And so we got to get a lot of work done that's going to be relevant to collisions and being on the field.
And for those of you that might be a little skeptical that, hey, well, Troy, you've never really been in a weight room. Besides his years of training for football and many of his other sports, Troy's also competed in Olympic weightlifting. He's competed in strongman. So this is a guy that knows weights. So I really value his opinion. He's going to take us through a workout. Yeah. So we'll get ready to go, sir.
Awesome. We're going to get some stuff done.